Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. We apologize. We're a little late, not crazy late, a couple of days. You know, during the next 2 months when we're on tour heavily before we get off for months and months and months, the episode is going to be Friday, Saturday, or maybe Sunday. But we usually maybe keep it Friday or Saturday. I tried to get David Hogg on the show. I messaged David Hogg, survivor of the Parkland school shooting. I messaged him on Instagram and Twitter, and it, basically saying, hey, come on the show. Like, I want to talk, because he's very political, and he has the March for Our Lives and Save Kids Not Guns. This is his stuff. And I'm like, I'm not trying to fight with you or debate with you. There's a few things I might bring up if you come on, but like, I've taken flack for saying there should be more restrictions. I don't believe in banning guns, but I'm like, there should maybe be a couple of more sensible restrictions. But I invited him on. I don't think he's responded. I don't think he's responded to come on the show, but I thought that would be an interesting conversation between me and David Hogg about schools and guns and, all the craziness that just happened in Nashville with the shooting that just happened in Nashville where they killed 3 children. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's nuts. It's crazy. They're saying Finland is the happiest country in the world. Can you believe this? Finland, where children don't get shot, is the happiest country. Or maybe they do. I don't think they do. But the Finnish are the happiest people in the world, happier than the United States of America. This is what they're saying. This is the New York Times. It has been ranked the happiest nation on earth for 6 consecutive years. But in this article, they talk to the individual Finns who are, I don't know, they're not exuberant. They're satisfied. They're like relaxed. They go, yeah, we're cool. And I read this article. We're going to bring up some interesting parts of it. I don't know. Again, I'm not shocked that America's doesn't rank, because again, I've talked about the idea that very few people seem happy in America. Even happiness in America seems to be a frenetic kind of manic behavior that's not like a Nordic satisfied and relaxed person. It's like a manic junkie whose dealer has just called them back. That is happiness in America. It's like somebody very, very excited to tell you how good something's going for them. But it's not like that calm, cool, collected, deep satisfaction that maybe the Finnish have. So here in the article, on March 20th, the United Nations Sustainable Development Solutions Network released its annual World Happiness Report. What an interesting thing, which rates well-being in countries around the world. For the 6th year in a row, Finland was ranked at the very top. They keep winning. They always win. But when they interview them individually, they go, I wouldn't say that I consider us very happy, said Nina Hansen, 58, a high school English teacher from a mid-sized city on Finland's west coast. I'm a little suspicious of that word, actually, which I am too, Nina. They spoke to about a dozen Finns, a Zimbabwean immigrant, a folk metal violinist, a former Olympian, and a retired dairy farmer, about what supposedly makes Finland so happy. Our subjects ranged in age from 13 to 88 and represented a variety of genders, sexual orientations, ethnic backgrounds, and professions to get a full picture of how happy Finnish people are. They came from Kola, as well as the capital Helsinki, Turku, a city on the southwestern coast, and 3 villages in southern, eastern, and western Finland. And I read the article, and what it comes down to is they like nature, they like welfare, and they're satisfied with very little, which is good. But that's how you get happy, right? They enjoy nature. They actually enjoy it. Like, Americans don't really enjoy nature unless we're destroying it or we're using it for our own gain. Nature in America, for the most part, has kind of been ruined. Like, we do have Yellowstone. We have some beautiful national parks. But most nature is just, it's hanging on by a thread. The fires are always burning down. There's droughts everywhere. The lakes aren't at a high level. So nature in America takes a back seat. You know, there are people that go out and do things in nature, but a lot of times that's murder or rape. I mean, it's not always, you know, there's people that go out and don't kill in the natural environment, but it's not our main thing. Like, our main thing is not the nature. Like, we have some pretty nature, but our main thing is like the cities, the vibe, the clubs, the drugs, the money, the cars, you know. And in Finland, they like a tree. Like, they like seeing green grass. We take nature and put it on the outside. Like, we take fake moss and put it on the outside of buildings, or we take trees and rip them out of the ground and put them inside of a hotel lobby. We dominate nature, which I think is good. Like, we don't let nature, we're not going to be nature's bitch, you know? Like, there's a lake in Austin called Lake Travis, which is heinous. It's a heinous lake. It's a man-made lake, and it looks like it's in a crater, like an asteroid hit the earth, and there's a crater. And it's blue because it's limestone on the bottom. It gives it that nice color. And they buy water from Lake Mead, and they buy water from Colorado, and they direct it via the dam into this Lake Travis, which is a heinous lake, kind of. I mean, when you look at it, and the drought has made the lake so that the lake is not even full. It's kind of like, you know, it's like the levels of the lake aren't good. So people go out and they go on boats and they get hammered and they drink, and there's a place called Hippie Hollow where they get naked and everybody's like screaming and yelling. And, you know, this is a fun summer activity, but it's not really about the lake, right? Like, it's just about like, we've created this big slip and slide for adults to just, you know, to take part in. Like, it's about us. It's not about the lake. We don't really give a shit about the lake. We care about our ability to use the lake to get drunk, to use drugs, to drive fast on boats and have fun water sports. But that's what America views nature. It's like an impediment to our having a good time. It's like you know, the lake, last year, the lake levels were low. People didn't care. They're like, fuck it. It's just, hey, the lake's our bitch. And it's a heinous lake, not a nice lake. It's not a naturally occurring lake. It's a man-made lake. We make lakes, and we put some fish in them, and we go out there and do it. Go out there and get drunk, get on the boat, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, get on the fucking jet skis, have fun. But we make nature to please us. Whereas the Finnish people, the Finns, go to nature and their depression is lifted because they're in nature, and I don't know what they do out there in it, but apparently they like it. They also have a very strong social safety net. Well, they're saying there are psychological benefits of nature in Finland, that these people, there's psychological benefits of nature, like they go to nature and they feel better about themselves. They also have a nice welfare state, so nobody's cast out of society for not performing. So rather than happy, they are more likely to characterize Finns as quite gloomy, a little moody, and not given to unnecessary smiling. So these are different types of people. They're Nordic. They don't have that kind of manic highs and lows that Americans have, but they have sustainable lives. Like, their idea of success is being able to meet basic needs. That's the big difference between those Nordic countries and America. They want, like, basic needs: a little house, a little fish, and a few potatoes, a little family, and they have art for art's sake. No one gives a shit about what the Finnish do. They don't have a Finnish ice spice. They have just this for the sake of it. They have it for the sake of it. Like, nothing in America is for the sake of it. Nothing. If you ain't trying to get big, it's not worth it in America. Nobody's enjoying anything. Everybody in the back of their head is thinking that whatever the hell they're doing is going to lead to something else. The Finnish don't believe that. So the Finnish enjoy music and entertainment, but they enjoy it for the sake of it, as opposed to Americans who are like trying to get their kids on the line for American Idol so the kids can get famous and they can retire. Like, Americans just are chasing fame and chasing money. This is part of our culture. We want fame and we want money. We don't really care about nature. That does not do anything for us. We want fame and we want money. And if we're not famous and rich, we want our kids to be famous and rich. You know, the Finns don't feel like that. They want their kids to have a little house, a little fish, and little potatoes. And that's fine with them. That's a nice way to live. America, we want our kids to be famous first and rich. We want our kids to be big time. Big time. We want to tell people, like, that's my kid. We don't care if they have face tattoos, if they're on drugs. We don't care if their lives are ruined. We don't care if they're in debt to record companies. We don't care if Hollywood is molesting them. We don't care if they're being exploited by everyone in their lives. We don't care if literally their manager and agent are stopping them from killing themselves and throwing them back out on stage. None of that matters to us. As long as they are famous and rich, that is fine. That is fine. And then the next step, if they're not famous and rich, is like, good job that you can tell people about, a decent house, big house, nice wife, nice kids. Like, look at that. But first and foremost, we'd like them to be famous and rich. And the Finns aren't doing this. Their lives are not built on this unsustainable rat race that Americans are in. Americans are constantly in this rat race of being the best at everything, the most successful, putting in the most time, getting the big job, getting the corner office, getting the big house and the pool and the cars. But the Finnish people, but again, I don't know what's better. I don't know what's better. I don't know what's better. Is it better to have a little house with a little fish and the little potatoes, and it's a tiny little house and no one really speaks? They speak occasionally. Or is it better to live in a McMansion where everybody in their rooms is plotting against everybody else and they're plotting to try to get their lives where they want them to be? I don't know. I don't know what's better. Do you want to live in a place where you get excited by something as stupid and gay as nature? Is that like something that you want to be a part of? I mean, it's easy to say that, yes, Americans are sick and our value system is wrong. It is. And, everything, and our country's rotted. It has. But the flip side of it is, like, the Finns have never had any impact culturally on the world. And you could say, well, America's impact is now negative. Well, maybe I'd agree with you. But we've certainly done some good things. I mean, name me a Finnish movie, or something in terms of music. I mean, I don't know. It's not as easy to just say, like, hey, the Finnish are the happiest people in the world, and we should all take a page out of their book. I don't know. I don't know if that's just easy to say as people believe. Like, if people really want to do that. Spring is sprung, and our friends at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have the best tools for some spring cleaning in your pants. Trust me, your confidence will be blooming like the flowers. Look your best this spring and join the other 8 million men who trust Manscaped. Use code TIMD to get 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com. Okay? I'm telling you right now. I love Manscaped. I use it. Everyone I know uses it. Everyone I know is satisfied with it. Manscaped, they're going to change the way that all the fellas can take care of ourselves and groom with the Performance Package 4.0. Inside this ball care bundle, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker ear, nose, and hair trimmer. That comes in handy. The Crop Preserver ball deodorant, Crop Reviver toner ball, the Performance Boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all your goodies. The Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer is an electronic trimmer that provides their proprietary advanced skin-safe technology. This trimmer is designed to trim hair on loose skin. Although your balls might look like punching bags, don't treat them like one. The Lawnmower 4.0, also waterproof and equipped with an LED light so you can trim in the dark or the shower. Have you ever met somebody who finds nose hairs attractive? The Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer provides proprietary Skin-safe technology, which helps reduce nicks, snags, and tugs. Again, the code is TimD. Save 20% off. Free shipping with the code TimD at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping, code TimD at manscaped.com. If you enjoy the podcast, a great way to support us and get yourself a gift or somebody you know a gift. It's no secret that injuries suck. I hate them. It's pain, the hospital bills, sometimes even missing days of work. It's literally the worst. So if you've been injured, hiring a lawyer could be the best decision you've ever made. I know a lot of you think hiring a lawyer is hard and confusing, but Morgan & Morgan actually makes it super easy. How easy, you ask? With Morgan & Morgan, you can start a claim from your couch in about 6 clicks. If you don't want to call, that's okay. You can simply text back and forth with your lawyers. And the best part, that it's free. You only pay if you win your case. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. 900 lawyers, 100 offices, 24/7 customer service staff, and they've recovered. Listen, many of you are sitting on the couch. Sue someone. You have a problem? You hurt yourself? You fell? You slipped? You tripped? Sue. Your kid fell in someone's pool? Sue. Something's going on? Sue. They've recovered over $15 billion for their clients. All you have to do is sue. Dial pound law or go for the people.com/Tim and sue. That's dial pound law or forthepeople.com/Tim. Sue. If you're hurt for any reason, sue. Someone else is responsible. Sue. That's dial pound law. People.com/Tim. Sue. Your kid fell. Sue. 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 This is a paid advertisement. So listen to this. This is interesting, and this goes right to my point. Public funding for education in the arts, including individual artist grants, gives people like his wife, Herta, a mixed media artist, the freedom to pursue their creative passions. It also affects the kind of work that we make because we don't have to think of the commercial value of art, said Mr. Kieske. So a lot of what these artists make here is very experimental. Listen, Herta sucks. And she's making a lot of crap. And the reality is the government's funding that crap, and there's nothing wrong with that on its face. But the reality is it's not good. Mixed media art is rarely good. And there's no way that this bitch is doing anything good. There's no way. There's no way that, first of all, I know some of the biggest losers in the world. If you were to give them grants from the government to make sure so that they didn't have to work and they could just make art, it would not make the art good. It wouldn't. It would relieve the financial burdens on them, but that wouldn't necessarily make them valuable as artists. So, I mean, can we get some of Herta? Is there anything that we can see here from Herta, the Finnish mixed media artist? Because I want to be proven wrong, but I have a sneaky suspicion that it's a waste of everybody's time. It could be, Herta. Here it is. Herta Kieske. Herta Kieske. Now, I could be wrong here, but this is what you get in a country with a social safety net where people, are satisfied. And I'm not. So what is this? What am I even looking at? What is it? I kind of like that.
This is called After the End.
I kind of like that. That's not bad. After the End.
What do you even see here?
Well, it's like a picture of, I don't know, but it's not horrible. Well, now go up there. What is this with the what is that, 2 eggs?
Oh, boy.
This is what you do when you don't have to think of the commercial value of art. And everybody's satisfied to just loaf around and eat a little fish and little potatoes. What else? What other masterpieces? What is that, a torture chamber?
I think it's like a...
Yeah, I mean, again, are you trading this? Are you trading Tina Turner or Elvis or Biggie for this, for Herta? Let's be honest. These are the questions we have to ask ourselves. Is that what we want? Do we want a society where we don't have Run DMC, but we have this, where this bitch took scrunchies and put them on a metal pipe and is calling this art, and that's what the government pays for? The government pays for this bitch to put scrunchies on a metal pipe and call it art, and that's what they pay for. You know what I think would make her better? Working at Taco Bell for minimum wage and then fighting her way out of that. Sorry, Herta. So I don't know, it's not as simple, but another thing I wanted to talk about to deviate from this point a little bit, and this is, we're staying in the realm of art because I'm getting more into art now, because it's by the way, you know, I've been lucky enough to do well enough to own a few homes, but I don't really have art. So if you wanted to send me something on Instagram in DM, if you're an artist that does cool shit, I will pay you, maybe potentially, to do some work for something. Like, I have a house on Long Island, and I want like I'm trying to think what I want as like a painting for that house. I don't know yet, but maybe we'll correspond if you're a good painter. Not if you're not good. Don't contact me if you're not good. I want to see your work that you've done, like maybe in a gallery setting. I mean, what's funny about that? I don't want somebody, you're not going to try this out for the first time, but if you're an established painter, maybe we can work together on like a nice piece of art. Now, I want to talk about something because, you know, when you have successful parents, often your passions are subordinated because the reality of their lives are so big that you are relegated to the background, especially as an artist. What's nice about the Biden family is that is not the case. What's positive about the Biden family is there's an artist in the family, and they allow him to stand on his own and present his work. Now, this is from the Post. Hunter Biden works featured alongside art world heavy hitters. Hunter Biden is back in the Big Apple as his newest work will be featured in a New York show alongside some of the art world's renowned abstract painters. Bridging the Abstract, a group exhibition that opens April 6th at the George Berger Gallery in Soho, includes some of the First Son's latest works, alongside paintings by Elaine de Kooning and Helen Frankenthaler. I mean, listen, so Biden 53 will be on hand for the opening. He's coming in for the open. You would think that they would stash him somewhere. You would think they'd go, you turned in a laptop of you fucking whores and you smoking crack and waving guns around. Your father is the president. You have to go away now, and we basically have to start telling people you're dead. No. They are supporting him as he has an art exhibition in Manhattan. That's a good family. That is an understanding and encouraging family that after everything he's done, the crack, the whores, the guns, dating his brother's wife, all of that, dead brother's wife, all of that, they're still like, hey, he's an artist. Hunter's an artist. No matter what, he's got to show, and it's coming into election season, and they don't care. They do not care. Over the last several months, investigators have demanded details on collectors who paid for Hunter's art, which has been valued between $75,000 and $500,000. What will he do with the money? Now, such a great idea, by the way, to give him hundreds of thousands of dollars. Where will that end up? Now, among the other painters featured in Bridging the Owl, who cares? I will say this. It's nice to see a family supporting a guy. Can we get into this? I would love to go to this thing because I will support How great would it be to own a Hunter Biden original? Is anything any good? Do we have any, can we see some of the work that might be displayed? Is that one?
Yeah, this one's called Haiku.
That's not bad. It's better than that bitch in Finland. This is my point about America. This is the point. What makes you a good artist is a crack addiction and having your father be the president. You don't get that in Finland. But this is actually good. Go up to haiku again. I like this. I like haiku. Make that big. This is good. This is much better than that bitch in Finland. I'll tell you this. I'm fully on board. Is there anything else? Can we look at anything else from him? Because this is not bad. But this is what I mean about the struggle making the art. The struggle makes the art. If you give everybody everything and, you know, they have a simple life. Now, you might say to me, well, Hunter is a very privileged kid. Well, of course he is. But his life was so insane that he became a demon from hell, which is what made the art good. He wasn't walking around going, oh, the nature is so pretty. He was smoking crack in the Ukraine and running scams that got us into a war. That's why we have good art. Take a look at that. This is nice. I actually like this. Can I get in? Is there a way to get in? Can I just get in? I will bid on these, maybe, kind of. Not really, but I might. Is there a way to get in this gallery? Look this up, please, because I don't want to miss this. I actually enjoy the work. I was a junkie myself. I didn't do great work when I was on Crizzle, but I was on coke, not crack. Maybe that's why. But I'll tell you right now, I support the guy, and I like that his family is pushing him more front and center, even with a laptop of crime or what looks to be, well, what is definitely crime, but could be even much worse than we know, a scandal potentially. It's great that the family's just kind of pushing him front and center and going, hey, no matter what, he's an artist. Hunter's an artist, and we're going to treat him like that. Hey, man, you talk about a supportive family. You talk about a mom and a dad that give a shit. Well, the dad and the mother is not. I don't think Jill's the mom. Is she? She might be. I can't keep track. That family's had so many fucking problems. They're indicting President Trump, by the way. I mean, he looks so happy. I'm going to this gal. By the way, when is this?
It's April 6th. So there's a chance it'll be going on when you're in New York, too.
Fuck. I'm in Minnesota, I think, or Grand Rapids. I forgot. Can we call the gallery right now? Call the gallery right now. They're probably closed. Call the gallery right now. I want a Hunter. I want a Hunter Biden original. I want a Hunter Biden original right now. I need to get invited to that gallery because I want one of this guy's paintings. He's much better than this bitch Herta in Finland, who was not impressive at all. I'm glad you're happy because the rest of your shit sucks over there. They're probably not going to answer. It's after hours.
But this is a big event.
I don't know that it'll matter. Maybe I'll leave a message. Nobody works. You'd think for the Hunter Biden show, they'd stay open late. He likes late night stuff, late night activities. He should have just painted a laptop, to be honest. That would have been kind of cool. All right, fuck it. They're not going to answer. If they're not going to answer, then fuck them. But I do want to go and see what he's got going on. How many of you wish there was a better solution to paying off your debt? PDS Debt has customized savings options for anyone struggling with credit cards, personal loans, collections, medical bills. With rising interest rates and the cost of living at an all-time high, now is the time to finally take initiative with your debt. Stop waiting and start saving with your own custom debt savings options from PDS Debt. PDS Debt is giving our qualified listeners free debt savings analysis just for completing the 30-second online debt assessment at pdsdebt.com/Tim. You will receive a full breakdown on how to save on interest each month and the quickest way to take care of your debt. If you're making payments every month on your debt and your balances aren't going down, this program is for you. Your savings options are made customs from your budget and situation. Everyone with over $10,000 or more in debt qualifies. There is no minimum credit card score required. Bad and fair credit accepted. Save thousands in interest and fees. Pay off your debt in a fraction of the time. PDS Debt is offering free debt analysis to our listeners just for completing the quick and easy debt management assessment at www.pdsdebt.com/Tim. How proud am I that I have my own debt collection advertisement. pdsdebt.com/Tim. Just like the old days. That's PDSDEBT, because debt's a tricky one. It's got the B in there. /Tim. Take back your financial freedom today and get that jet ski. pdsdebt.com/Tim. Debt with a B. Donald Trump being indicted for paying off Stormy Daniels, the porn star. This is kind of a nothing burger in my estimation. Obviously, no president should be above the law, but they all are. And presidents have done so many different things, from, legalizing and authorizing torture in violation of the Geneva Conventions. And I know they ran legal cover from that by having their lawyers write whatever the hell they wanted to. And we've had Obama with, the warrantless wiretaps and the drone strikes and killing an American citizen and all this stuff. Now, of course, we can always say that, they didn't really break any laws because they just brought a bunch of lawyers in the White House and said, make up a rationale for us to do this. And they do. But this is amazing. This is the only thing they've got Trump on. He's a real estate developer, and these shady fucks, the real estate people, they pay off everybody. This is what they do. They just pay people to shut up. They pay people to do what they want. This is also what wealthy people do, right? Former President Donald Trump's indictment by New York grand jury has thrust the nation into uncharted political, legal, and historical waters, because this is the first time that a president has paid off a porn star, and we've known about it, I guess. Bill Clinton has done it, and we knew about it. But Paula Jones, I think, who he paid off, is not a porn star, although she maybe had done porn. This is the first time a president has been indicted after leaving office. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office has been investigating Trump in connection with his alleged role in a hush money payment scheme and cover-up involving adult film star Stormy Daniels. So my thought on this, and my entire belief system here, is that this feels like a stunt. And I think it'll backfire, and I think it could only help Trump. And I think this is what people have done since Trump has emerged onto the scene. Every attempt to take out Trump has only served to help him. Because what Trump's really good at is fighting. And what he's really not that great at is governing. He's got too many things that get in the way. His own ego, his petty behavior, his inability to be loyal to certain people, throws people under the bus. He's got a lot of personal issues that prevent him from carrying out a governing strategy. But what he's really, really good, what he's amazing at, is fighting. When he's up against the ropes, he's good. So I don't see this doing anything but helping him. This is something that he'll probably coast, and win the nomination. Ron DeSantis is boring. He's fucking boring. Whatever you say about him, and I certainly don't believe he's Hitler. I don't believe any of the things people are saying. Some of the stuff he's doing down there is probably an overreaction. But, I do understand where it comes from. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Ron DeSantis is a boring bully. He looks like a cop. None of it's not coming together. I watched this guy, and I was immediately after Trump, I'm so bored by Ron DeSantis. I'm like, oh my God. It's like a cop who comes into school talking about drugs with the intended purpose of getting you to rat on your friends. That's the type of energy Ron DeSantis has. Like a cop who's trying to get you to narc on your boys. Because he's like, now listen, we found this bag of weed and we called the police, and then the cop shows up and he's like, this is a serious matter. And the only way to handle this is for someone to come forward, or if you know whose weed this is. That's the energy Ron DeSantis has. Like a school cop rat energy, not what Trump has, which is a crazy riverboat captain, casino, gambling, tycoon, psychopathic energy, which we're all used to. We're all used to that energy because it's more fun. So Ron DeSantis, like play any clip of Ron DeSantis talking about anything. I mean, anything about anything. We're bored. I mean, I'm like, can someone, I'd rather watch season 6 of House of Cards. That's the bad one without Kevin Spacey.
Today, Trump supporters rallied on Long Island at an event held by
That's
Florida
right,
Governor
Long
Ron
Island.
DeSantis, his potential rival for the Republican presidential nomination. And as CBS 2's Jennifer Bisram reports,
By the way, stop that for a minute. I love that DeSantis is doing rallies in Long Island because he knows, he's like, I got to win. If I can win over these psychopaths, people just show up with a bacon, egg, and cheese. I'm so excited. I'm going to be there for a few months. Coming up soon. By the way, third show at the Paramount is on sale. We sold out too. The third show, we're about a little less than half sold, but it's coming up. So if you want to get tickets, you can. And listen, and here's the reality. I know many of you are budgeting. There's still enough for the Percocet. There's still enough for the booze.
Long for DeSantis to address Trump's indictment.
He wants to downgrade felonies to misdemeanors. Really, really dangerous stuff. And then what does he do? He turns around, does a flimsy indictment against a former president of the United States.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis wasted no time.
Get a speech up of just him talking. This is the news covering him. But if you just get him speaking, you will see how truly boring he is. It's just it's the tone. Trump had this musicality to when he talked. It was interesting. It was like listening to a jazz band. And then Ron DeSantis is just it's like a dull. Go to his victory speech. Even that was dull. He's just dull.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you so much.
No.
Over these past 4 years,
this isn't going to do
we've
it.
seen major challenges for the people of our state,
Nope.
for the citizens of the United States.
Not going to happen.
And above all, for the cause of freedom. We saw freedom in our very way of life in so many other jurisdictions in this country wither on the vine. Florida held the line.
I even agree with what he's saying, but it's like he's just not. It's not going to do it. I mean, Trump, as my friend Ray said, will beat this guy from a prison cell. I mean, Trump will win the election like Nelson Mandela in a jail. I don't know if Nelson won an election in a jail, but I know he was jailed. But my point is that I just don't see Ron catching Donald here. I don't, listen, again, if you let them just have a campaign where Trump had to answer for certain things, again, more and more is coming out about the vaccine every day. I think the World Health Organization is now it's not recommended for healthy teens. I believe that, and children, which is big if that's the case. Trump authorized it. Trump was like, the vaccine is the big, success story of my presidency. This is, of my administration, right? So Trump also shut things down. DeSantis kept them open. The World Health Organization's vaccine experts have revised their global COVID-19 vaccination recommendations. And healthy kids and teenagers considered low priority may not need to get a shot. That's big. This is big. This is actually massive. This is literally a massive thing. The World Health Organization is like, I guess not. This was the thing that they were firing people for. This is the thing that Trump said was the biggest achievement of his administration. If DeSantis was kind of hitting him on that without being so fucking boring, and if the story wasn't Trump's bullshit indictment, the story might literally be like, oh, DeSantis kept shit open. Trump actually kind of folded a little bit and, hyped all of this stuff, the vaccine, that it was a big achievement. And the reality is it's just not, it hasn't done what anybody wanted it to do. And now the WHO is coming out and going, listen, we don't know if kids and young adults need it, and that's because of the myocarditis, all that crazy shit. I'd be thrown off YouTube if I said any of this a year ago or 2 years ago, but now this is all common. The news has to now use phrases like, he's a 19-year-old, it was a routine heart attack. That's happening now. So there's this major, so there's things that you could hit Trump on that you wouldn't even think you could. But now the whole narrative is going to be dominated by the fact that he paid off or maybe paid off a porn star. It's a campaign finance violation, which no one really gives a fuck about. So this just does nothing but helps him. He's probably going to be back. I don't see anyone beating him. DeSantis has a record that Republicans will embrace, but the actual guy is just not as electric as the Don. It's just, I'm sorry. And I thought Trump was done a few months ago. I thought he was finished. And I was talking to people at dinner and it was like, he's done. And now he's indicted. I think he's got a better chance than ever. Now I'm like, I think he's in again. I think he's in again. He's been indicted. But that's Trump world rules. You don't understand. Trump, without the indictment, just fading away, that announcement he had at Mar-a-Lago, it was his passion wasn't there, but he's gotten better. He's gotten a little sharper in this campaign, and he was indicted. So now he's digging in and fighting, which is now I could be wrong. He could still crumble. It might not work, but I give him a better chance now than a lot of things, a lot of people. Keeps is great. People are bald, and sometimes that sucks. The reality is a lot of people are trying to stay with their hair, and you know how they do it? They got to keep the hair they have on their head. That's the way to do it. 2 out of 3 men will experience some form of hair loss by the time they're 35. More than 50 million men in the U.S. suffer from male pattern baldness. Keeps has more 5-star reviews than any of its competitors. I had a friend. I'll just tell you a quick story here. I had a friend whose wife sat him down one day and said, listen, if you lose the rest of your hair, I'm going to leave you. And he said, what do you mean? She goes, well, I don't really love you. We got married very hastily, and I didn't know you were going to lose this much hair. She goes, the reason I've stayed married to you is for our child. I don't want her to witness a divorce. I want her to have her parents together while she grows up. But I don't like you. I don't love you, but I don't even like you. And I would get out of this if not for the kid, Bianca. And he said, well, this is coming as a shock. He goes, but I don't really even love you, really. He goes, you're right. We did get married kind of hastily, but we had this beautiful young daughter, Bianca, that we both love. And he goes, I don't even know why we call her Bianca. Who even came up with that name? And she goes, well, I think it was like a great aunt of mine who I used to always visit. She was kind of a wealthy spinster who drank a lot. She'd let me drink a little wine every now and then. And he's like, our daughter's named after an alcoholic. And she's like, well, not an alcoholic. She was just kind of fun. And I don't know. I feel like she was like a fun, free woman. But he goes, alone, like a spinster, like she was alone. She had a husband. We don't know what happened. Would she kill him? No. But anyway, that's who we named our daughter after. And he's like, I never even knew that. I didn't even know that we named our daughter. And I thought you were like closer with her than that. And she was like, well, I would go see her sometimes in the summers. She was like this wealthy woman named Bianca who just got drunk. And she would let me drink. And he goes, all right, well, I'm glad that's who we named our daughter after. And she's like, well, whatever, it's a pretty name. He goes, yeah. And she goes, well, listen, we don't love each other, but we've got this kid and we can't really afford to get divorced, right? Because our 2 incomes pay for this little dump of a house that we live in. And I don't hate the house. Sure, the yard's not as big as I'd want it to be, but it's fine. And during the summer, Bianca's friends can come over and at least she has a backyard to play in. She's living the life that we think is good, a suburban kid life. So if we break up, we both get shitty places and we're shuffling her from one place to another place. It's not a good idea. So I think we should stay together for as long as humanly possible to give this child a chance at life. And she goes, I'm going to get you keeps. That way you can keep the hair that you have on your head. And he goes, really? He goes, do I have to go to a doctor? She goes, no. You actually never have to go to a doctor's office, ever. It's easy to get refill reminders. You'll never run low on the products you need, and you'll keep your hair. And he goes, this is amazing. He goes, I almost love you again, but I really don't, LOL. And she goes, listen, I get it. He goes, well, I don't understand this stuff. I'm new to this. She goes, well, they have 24/7 care and support. So you don't have to talk to me if you have a problem. They have a network of medical advisors, prescribers, and care specialists to support you in making your hair goals a reality. And he goes, well, I bet this is going to cost an arm and a fucking leg. And you're going to throw it in my face all the time that you're the reason I have hair. And she goes, listen, it's low cost. The treatment plans are affordable, typically half the cost of pharmacy prices. So the reality is, he goes on Keeps. This is true. He goes on Keeps, and he literally does not lose any more hair. Thank God he went on when he did, because it takes treatments 4 to 6 months to work. He doesn't lose any more hair. Okay? So she comes to him and she goes, listen, now that you're not losing your hair anymore, I can't believe this, but I'm actually starting to get attracted to you again. You know, I know I told you I didn't love you. I still don't. But I feel more attracted to you now that you're keeping your hair, like you're doing something good for yourself. And he goes, you know what? I got to be honest. I feel more confident. I feel better. And I feel like this is good that I have hair, right? So he goes, maybe, do you think we can try to love each other? Could we try to do this? Not only for Bianca's sake, but for ours. We don't want to be miserable in this home, okay? So they go out to dinner. They go out to dinner one night in a little place called Long Island, New York. And they take 2 separate cars because many couples that hate each other do. He was coming from work, and this was date night. It's date night. And they go out for date night. And they actually have a great time. It's like they're meeting for the first time. He has hair, and she's the reason for it. And they're eating and drinking and having a great time. And it's amazing. And it's actually like, you know, this is fixed. And he says to her, he goes, you think I can get lucky tonight? She goes, you might just get lucky. And, you know, they hadn't been having sex. So this was a big deal. And it's all because he went to keeps.com/Tim Dillon. It's all because he went to keeps.com/Tim Dillon. So they have this great little dessert. It's a raspberry cheesecake at the end. And it's getting very fun and flirty and sexy. And they both leave to go home. She is hit by a drunk driver going the wrong way on the parkway, and she's beheaded. He gets home, and he doesn't call her right away because he thinks that potentially she's picking up some sex stuff. So he doesn't call her, and he keeps calling her phone, and it's going to voicemail, and he's like, oh, Bianca, mommy's coming home soon. Mommy's coming home soon. And then he gets the call from the state troopers. And he goes. And his head's racing 1,000,000 miles a minute. And he goes and he sees her. And he has to identify her, and it's just the head. And he asks the state trooper, can he hold her head? And they're very uncomfortable with this. And they don't want to let him do it. But he just, because he's left Bianca with the grandmother, and then he just holds her head for a minute, not in a gross way, not in a morbid way, but he's holding her head, and he's running his hands through her hair. And then he starts running his hands through his hair. And he said, her legacy on this earth will be my hair. Her legacy will be my hair. KEEPS.com/Tim Dillon. If you're ready to take action and prevent hair loss, do it. The Nashville shooter, let's talk about this as a sticky situation because the Nashville shooter was a trans shooter. And a lot of people are going back and forth about that and what that means. Now, there's been a few shooters that have been trans recently. Now, the vast majority of shooters obviously have not been trans, but there's been a few shooters recently that have been trans. And I wanted to talk about this because I was sitting there on the plane in first class, and I was thinking, and by the way, what's good about United first class is it's first class, but is it? You know, I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? I was sitting there, I was thinking about the trans issue because I was listening to this podcast that Megan Phelps Roper did with J.K. Rowling about, the witch trials of J.K. Rowling about, the author of Harry Potter and how much flack she got for just wading into that issue, right? And saying men are men and women are women and trans men are trans men and trans women are trans women. But there's a difference between biological women and trans women. And this is what J.K. Rowling said. And then everybody went nuts and got angry. She's still a billionaire. She's still fine. But I was listening to this. I was thinking about this. I was thinking about, I'm like, how did this invade our politics to the level that it has? How has this sucked the energy out? I mean, we don't talk about anything anymore. The banks almost collapsed 2 weeks ago. We don't even talk about it anymore. No one speaks of it. The border is a mess. No one speaks of it. No one speaks of it. It's trans every day, every minute. And it's weird. Seems a little designed, to be honest. Listen, the trans community in America has existed forever. There's always been people that have felt like they are in the wrong body. They have a condition called gender dysphoria, and they've gone to certain lengths to fix that. Obviously, hormones and surgery and things like that have gotten better. Technology has gotten better. People have been able to physically transition in ways they couldn't if they had those feelings years ago. But the trans community has been around in America for a pretty long time. And it hasn't been this like contentious thing where everybody is fighting over it, right? Women that were born biological men that then transition to women, a lot of them would use a woman's bathroom. And maybe there'd be some people making comments, and I know that trans people have dealt with bigotry, and they've dealt with, violence, and they've dealt with all that shit. Gay people have, black people, any minority really has dealt with that, right? 100%. I'm not saying they haven't. But for the most part, this wasn't the issue it is now. And you'd imagine, see, this is what I would think. If the medication was getting better, the hormones, whatever they're taking, testosterone, estrogen, whatever it is, the surgeries were getting better, people were getting more, this was easier and maybe even cheaper to do. This would be being diminished as an issue and not like blowing up. It seems like the medical advancements would make these things easier for people to do if they felt like they really needed to do them, and this wouldn't be such a big deal. It would be a very personal thing. People would go, hi, I'm Jack and now I'm Jill. And your friends and family would go, hello, Jill, or whatever. Or they'd go, you're going to hell. Whatever it is, it would be a personal thing between you and the people that you know, your close friends and family. But now this leaves out kids, right? Because this is why this has become such a controversial issue. It is specifically about what ideas should children be confronted with and at what age? What age do children need to learn certain things? And once those children have learned those things, what age is it appropriate for those children to make medical decisions about their future and their life? And that's really the point that has become incredibly divisive, right? Let's leave out for a second the drag queen story hour, which we've talked about before on the show. And that seems to be the cultural battleground of the day, the drag queens reading in the library. But the deeper issue, the more important issue is, can a 7-year-old make a decision about who they are at that age? I say no. Most people I know say no. The most gay people I know say no to that. Most reasonable, rational, sane people say that when you're under 18, you're going to go through all kinds of weird feelings. And you're going to have hormones are raging, and you're not going to know exactly what direction you want to go. Many of the people that don't end up transitioning, that have feelings like this, end up being gay or lesbian. And it's strange. It's an odd fixation with bringing these issues to children and letting children make decisions about who they are. Doesn't make any sense. If you've ever met children, this makes zero sense that teachers and schools are telling children you could be any gender that you want to be today. That is not a conversation for math class. This is most people that now I have friends that are more liberal on this issue. They're more progressive, and they say, well, there are such a thing as trans kids. And I say, well, I believe that to be true. Of course. But I still think, I don't know if they should be blocking puberty. They should be taking pharmaceutical drugs. They should be denying themselves the opportunity to go through puberty and see if any of that changes or alters the way they feel about their gender. There's always a way to correct things later in life. I know people that have transitioned in their early 20s and they're living lives and they're happy. So I think that's what it comes down to. It comes down to kids and children. You know, for most people, listen, there's people that hate trans people. There's people that don't want trans people around. There's people that are going to hate everybody. There's people that hate everybody no matter what. You can fixate on those people, but the vast majority of people don't care. They don't. They just don't want children being introduced to certain ideas before those children are ready for it. That's what most people do not care. They're not sitting around hating you if you're gay. They're not sitting around hating you if you're trans. They don't really have the time. This is not a country that, people don't have the time to be as hateful as maybe they'd want to be. They don't have the time. They're running around. They just don't want children being exposed to certain things because children are very confused by their nature. They're kids. And it's easy for some of these parents with the trans kids, I have a soft spot for. But then some of them, and I'll get in a little bit of trouble for saying this, but most people will understand what I'm saying. Some of the parents, it's a little like a Munchausen's by proxy, where it's like they are taking a lot of interest in this thing that their kids are feeling, and it almost feels like the parent is somehow deriving some type of, and Munchausen's is where you make your kids sick. And I'm not saying being trans is being sick, but I'm saying a lot of these parents are being very encouraging to their children and maybe steering them, knowingly or unknowingly, into being trans, perhaps, because parents are sometimes, I had friends that their parents were very encouraging and tried to help them a lot. And what it did was the opposite of what they wanted it to do. And I don't mean that you should, if your kid has these feelings, you shouldn't shut them down. But I don't know if you should parade your kid around like a political statement. And I see some parents doing that. And I wonder about the mental health of those parents that are parading their children around like a political statement instead of a human being. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's a little weird. And as far as the sports thing goes, it's so hard for me to come up with an opinion here that is anti hitting women, because sometimes they do need a tap. But it seems in combat sports, specifically, biological men have a little bit of an advantage even after they've transitioned. So watching them beat women, although there may be reasons not to ever beat a woman, but to give her a 1920 style tap, just a light one, it's a comedy show. But the point is, what I'm saying is that it's very difficult for me to just have to say we should just not hit women. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to say it. We shouldn't hit women. So again, if you want to compete in those things, but the reality of the situation is also, if you're like a female athlete and every female sport is now dominated by a trans female athlete, there is a conversation to be had. The good news is all of these things can be solved by common sense and rationality. And then we can go back to talking about the banks failing, the nuclear war, and things that I consider to be more important. Because I think there is a rational, reasonable, I don't want to say middle ground, because the word middle ground implies that like there has to be some great compromise made. I don't think there has to be any compromise made. I think that people should listen. If you bring your children to Drag Queen Story Hour, that they're your children. They're your children. If you bring your children to get hormones, they're your children. I think you're doing them a great disservice. And there are certain states that are going to ban that. And there are certain states that won't. But, there are families and there are people that are going to have kids and they're going to raise them in whichever way they see fit. I just think the whole thing, because I was thinking about this today on a plane, it's trans, everything is trans. And then you look around and you're like, where are all the trans men? And there's a few of them for sure, but they're not everywhere. This is a small group. This is a minority of people that should be protected with rights. Like they should have rights. And obviously people that fuck with them should go to jail. Like people that fuck with any group or anyone in general should go to jail. But it's such a big issue and it so dominates everything. And I'm like, this bitch, J.K. Rowling, wrote a book called Harry Potter, which Christian people were saying was a devil book. And, George W. Bush was like, she's promoting witchcraft and all these crazy things, right? And so she got like that fucking feedback when Harry Potter came out. And then she made $1 billion and she's got theme parks all over the world. And then just basically said, listen, women, have the right to have spaces that are their own. And then people just went fucking nuts. They went nuts. And I'm not saying that on the other side that the people don't overdo it, right? Because the people that are obsessed with it on the other side, who think that it's all about people trying to fuck their kids or it's all about this and that, and we need to go back to a Christian theocracy, that's not going to win a lot of people over either. But because I don't think it's all these teachers are pedophiles. I think these teachers are completely untethered from reality. And when people are untethered from reality, as many of them are, they push all of these ideological agendas that are not practical in any way. And that's what happens to people that get really into any ideology. They forget that there's an actual world out there with actual human beings that tend to behave in ways that aren't necessarily the ways that this ideology that you believe in would prescribe them to behave. And you forget that kids are fucking kids and they're going to be confused and they're going to take back things they say and they're going to go, I don't feel that way anymore, and this and that and the other thing. But they're so wrapped up in the idea that there's a political thing here that these kids have to be themselves and stop trans genocide. It's like every discussion about trans rights cannot devolve into people screaming, stop trans genocide. That's like crazy. It's like anybody that told me to eat better, I'd be like, stop fat genocide. It's like, I just suggested you eat a salad. Like there needs to be, we got to rein it in. We are a country of like people that are constantly on the verge of an emotional breakdown. Everyone you speak to is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. And every grifter in the world is out right now trying to make this into the biggest issue, and we've let them. I mean, it's every day. It's every day there is this issue and only this issue at the expense of so many other issues. So that's my piece on it. Leave kids alone. Let them grow up. When they're 18, they can do what they want to do. Some will do the wrong thing then, but you can't stop them. Listen, I had friends that joined the military and their parents were like, we don't want you to join the military. And for whatever reason, they're like, we're worried about you. We're in a war. This feels like Vietnam. This was during Iraq. This was during 2003. And I had friends that were joining the military and their parents were like, listen, this feels like Vietnam. This feels like not a great war. I understand that you want to join the military, but can't you just, do a Long Island, have a Long Island life, like live in our basement, sell drugs at home, like whatever, just wait it out. And some of my friends, I don't think, nobody I knew died in Iraq. I knew friends of friends that died in the military there, but they joined the military because their parents didn't really have any control over them at that point. They had graduated high school, they were adults, and they were gonna go and do what they felt like they had to do. But anybody who's fucking 13 or 14 years old, who has no idea what's going on, that may be being influenced by their friends or whatever, you know, this is not somebody who should be making permanent medical decisions about the rest of their life. This is not to me, this isn't like a controversial point of view. I know there's a gray area. I know there's kids that have legitimate, real deal gender dysphoria. There are a few of them. Absolutely. It's not as many as you would think. And that can be dealt with doctors and therapists. And I still don't think even those kids should be making medical decisions. But that could maybe be a lot of like, you could be dressing a certain way. You could be doing some cognitive behavioral therapy. There's all kinds of ways to handle it where it's not like, hey, let's get fucking big pharma involved in giving everybody the solution to everything. And a lot of people that take these drugs, I mean, if you watch this thing about the Tavistock Clinic in the UK, a lot of people that take these drugs aren't happier on the other side of that because maybe there is a certain amount of people that are experiencing mental issues that are on the autism spectrum that are not, they don't genuinely have gender dysphoria. They're having weird feelings and they're looking around on the internet and going, I wonder what this is. And they're matching up some of those feelings with some of the things that people have that have gender dysphoria, and they're putting them together. And now they're going, okay, if I transition medically, it's going to help me. And then they do that and then they don't feel the way they wanted to feel, you know? So again, this is just, it always amazes me how much this has dominated the discourse. And now the answer to me is just so easy. And it is less is more. Helicopter parenting, I don't think is a good idea. I believe in the less is more system. The boomers were in this regard and the only regard, great parents in this, and I talk about this on stage. I'm not going to do it here, timdilloncomedy.com. But the boomer parenting style, which was basically you're talking, but I'm not hearing you. If you were a boomer and your kids were talking, you were not listening unless they were bleeding, and then you were yelling at them for being hurt. Boomers didn't give a shit. This is the one thing that I'm going to say. Can we have an applause sound effect for the boomers? Because this is the one thing that the boomers get credit for. They did not listen to their children all the time. This is a huge thing for the boomers. And I think the boomers should be, yes, give them their due. They did not care what their children were feeling ever. They didn't care who their kids thought they were. The boomers were like, figure it out and get out of my house. Get out of my house. You eat my food. Boomers treated you like a roommate they met off Craigslist. My friend's mother would go, you eat the food, you use the shower, the water bill. I mean, but it's the one thing I will say about the boomers is that they didn't care. I think maybe we should return to letting kids be kids and letting them go through some shit and not taking everything they do seriously, not bringing them to a doctor, not doing anything permanent to their body, letting them figure this shit out on their own. I truly believe it is the one area where the boomers were far superior to the parents we have now, that it feels like they're just hanging on every word their 12 or 13-year-old says. It's just not a reality. So anyway, timdilloncomedy.com for tickets. We're on the road till mid-June. We're in Chicago. We're in San Francisco. We're in Milwaukee. We're in some cool places. We'll see everybody else in the fall. We're taking the summer off to podcast. And Tim Dillon Show on YouTube. You can like and subscribe. We're on Patreon. And we will see you there. We'll see you here. Thank you so much. Good night. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tim Dillon Show. Did it feel like Christmas this year? Did it feel like it? It didn't really. feel like it. And I am talking to people with large families and beautiful homes. This is not one of those like being a bitter guy things. This is taking the temperature of many different demographics of people. And across the board, I would say people were kind of feeling the same thing, that it just felt less like Christmas than it had. And a friend of mine had a theory about that, and she might be right. She's not alone in this thought, that we put so much energy and emotion into the election that the holidays this year felt kind of like a hangover, because the election was such a big, emotional, momentous event for people that once we got to the holidays, it's kind of like, who cares? It's kind of become a big ball of who cares. It's a lot of people in pajamas, and there's being lazy. People are ordering in. There's all kinds of articles about that people just don't want the formality of the holidays. I mean, if you look at your Instagram feed, people are just, they're in pajamas, and it's very cash. The whole thing's very casual. And maybe that's good. Maybe we should all just live in pajamas. But it's a very casual holiday now. And it seems like that seems to be what's been decided by people, that it's going to be a casual holiday. And it's not going to feel formal, which is okay. I don't know if that's good or bad. I just know that people seem to be giving up on everything across the board. I mean, it seems like it. The food, how they look, the house, the gifts. It seems like people across the board are kind of giving up on these events, and their attitude seems to be, so what? So what? That's their attitude. Give the kids some garbage and then sit in your house in a onesie and watch Torched on Netflix, The Roast to 2024, which no one's watching. I'm just kidding. Maybe they are. I'm asking if people are watching it. Remember, let me be very clear. If you invite me to do your thing, and even the smallest part of me doesn't like it, I'm going to publicly destroy it and make your life a living hell. Ask the producers, Joker, ask these people, if even a small part of me, for whatever reason, doesn't even have to be a good reason, finds that my time has been wasted, okay, my very valuable time I could spend driving around or looking at houses I have no intention of buying, or all the things I spend my time doing, if I feel even for a second that my time was wasted, I will go on a scorched earth campaign against whatever you have spent years working on. I have no respect for whatever you've done. I will publicly drag your name through the mud and the name of your family. Your children will get attacked at school, and they will come home bleeding. And you will go, what happened? The guy, Tim Dillon, said you made a shit movie and I got jumped. I will direct the anger of this country at you. All the uncertainty about the drones and whatever, food insecurity or poverty, income inequality, I will direct it all at you and whatever you've done and wasted my time with. Be careful. I hope this doesn't dissuade you from hiring me. I really hope that, because it puts a good amount of pressure on you. But I will be very clear. I will be a problem. I will turn the people in the production against you one by one. I will start a whisper campaign about things you may or may not have done to an intern in a green room. I will never stop if I feel even slightly that I'm not being taken care of, that I have been paid unfairly, that my time has been wasted. Or if I just slightly have creative differences with you. If I have even the smallest creative difference with you, I will attack the production using sock puppet dummy accounts across the internet. I will hire people in foreign countries to spam every corner of the internet until the consensus has been reached that you and your project are a failure and should never work again. If I even feel for a second that you were mean to me at the coffee truck while I was getting my coffee, if you were dismissive of me at the coffee truck, I will begin a nightmarish campaign against you. It will be like nothing you've ever seen. CIA level manipulation. And again, I don't want you to not hire me because of that. I want you to involve me in what you're doing. Just make it good and treat me nice. And that's why I will say Torched was very lovely. I have no problem with the people at Torched. Is it the greatest thing ever? Hey, you decide. You decide. But it was fun to play that dead guy who got shot. And I like Netflix for doing that, and thank you. So I have nothing bad to say about them. But that's no indication that the next thing I am asked to do will not result in a full... It's the last episode of the year. So I'm just putting it, I'm laying my cards on the table, okay? You know? Much like Amy Schumer did when she found out Nikki Glaser was hosting the Golden Globes, she ordered this drone attack. This is what's happening right now. This is the actual reason for the drones. Amy's got the drones over the Beverly, whatever that's called, the Beverly, where did Whitney, not Whitney, Whitney Houston, where did she check out in the tub? That's where they have the Golden Globes, isn't it? Where Whitney Houston drowned in the tub. The Beverly Wilshire? The Beverly Hilton? The Hilton family owns it. And then, yeah, the Beverly Hilton, where Whitney Houston drowned in the tub is where they have the Golden Globes. I hope they do like a memorial to her. They bring out the tub, the golden tub. What if someone sings from Whitney Houston's tub? Is that how Nikki should start the Golden Globes, in Whitney Houston's tub that she drowned in? And say, hello, everybody. I've been watching Nikki do her jokes, and she's crushing all over town. She's one of those comics I really love to watch. I think she's just amazing, and we wish her great luck, and I think she's going to murder it there. And I will be hosting the Golden Corral Awards, where we reward homeless people for their level of creativity and ingenuity during this time. That's what it is. There's a rift happening right now on the right, and it involves tech and it involves immigration. Elon Musk, who just came out in favor of Ozempic and Wegovy because he's gotten to be a little bit of a fatty bombati. And he's saying weight loss drugs are good, and we know who isn't, don't we? So we're seeing infighting. Now there's no one left to fight with. You got to realize the Trump people like to fight. The whole thing's about fighting. The entire ethos of the thing. Trump is a brawler. He's a masterful politician, but he's amazing on the ropes. He punches. He's great. He's a fighter who you cannot count out. He keeps coming back. But also that also it spreads throughout the organization, and all of the people are trying to curry favor with Trump or emulate Trump by also being very aggressive. And so here's what's happened. The Democrats now obviously have lost, and they seem pretty incapable of mounting any type of, reasonable resistance, or whatever you call it, whatever you want to call the people that are in opposition to things that Trump wants to do. The Democratic Party hasn't figured out how to do it because they need to, as I talked about a few weeks ago, burn the witches. A lot of these media types that are not really good at putting out this message. It's this weird circular firing squad where every podcast is like, how did this happen? How did this happen? Who's to blame? And they just fight about how it happened. And they are how it happened. You are how it happened. The people talking about how it happened, you're how it happened. You were the guardians of the message. You were to bring that. You were the media surrogates. You failed. You did a terrible job. You're not good at what you do. You need to fall on the sword. This is a beautiful Japanese custom, which looks at, we have a very negative attitude about unaliving here in America, but in certain cultures, they believe it is, somewhat necessary and actually a way to kind of atone. There was a Japanese guy who fucked up a plane. The whole plane went down, and then he seppuku out. Because it was great shame. We're off on a tangent, but the point is that what I'm saying, I'm not saying everyone in the media should take their own life. I'm saying you turn the mirror on oneself. Yes, might be good. Stop fight. Well, how did it happen? Well, it's disinformation. No, it's you. You suck, and we hate ya. Everyone hates you. No one believes that anymore, that people can hate them and be right. People might hate you and be correct. There's a real theater kid energy that got unleashed in this country, and it's infected every part of it. And as somebody who was a genuine theater kid, meaning I was in real things, not like my high school theater job. I was an actor as a child. Acting, theater, it's a brutal blood sport, and it's supposed to be mean. And the people who make it have to suffer through the indignities of failure to get good. That's why they're good. The theater kid energy that got unleashed, I don't know if it was Glee, I don't know what to blame it on, but it happened around the 2010s. What started to happen was everything in this country became a recital. Everything became about you. It's about me. It's about me. And you were cheered on no matter how big how big the chasm was between the talent you thought you had and the talent you actually had. We had to cheer you on. We had to clap and say, good job, good for you. And then, just showing up is 90% of that. No, it's not. No, it is not that. What is that quote? It's 90%. It's nothing. Showing up's almost nothing. Stay home. And what happened was it has infected everybody. It's not only the hordes of talentless garbage people that we're forced to endure in entertainment and media. It's a political consultant. It's just a celebration of mediocrity. And how dare you suggest anyone is bad at their job? How dare you suggest anyone is terrible at their job? That job means so much to them. They work so hard. They didn't. But it's the theater kid energy. It's this idea of like, I am here to be, and it's like, you suck. Some of you are terrible and need to stop. And no one will tell you. It's an act of love. It is an act of, when your child gets off that stage, it is an act of love to sit them down and go, honey, this ain't for you. It is an act of love, and parents will no longer do it. I know the biggest losers in the world. Thank you, Lord. Somehow I do. Biggest losers in the world. Thank you, Jesus. I know a lot of the biggest losers in the world. And they're all united by the fact that their parents heap praise on them for nothing. Oh, you got a flight to San Diego. Good for you. It's good for you that you. We celebrate the mediocrity, and it's people's praise. Sit your children down and tell them no. Tell them no. You are not good at this. The other people in the thing were better than you in the play. They were better than you. I don't know why you're bad at it. Maybe it's your innate ability, or maybe you don't take anything seriously. You're a goofball. But you're not good at this. And if you keep doing this, you're going to live a lie. I want you to tell them this. I don't care if they're 9. Do you want to live a lie? Look at me. Look at me right now. Do you want to live a lie? Because you're lying on that stage to everyone. You're telling them you should be there and you shouldn't be there. So all these Democrat surrogates who are terrible at what they do, they're annoying, they're like bad. They're making people hate the Democrats even more because of them. And they will not exit stage left. None of these people will leave. They will not go. They will not go find honest work. Go find honest work. Panera's a great, honest job you should have, many of you that are out there in the Democrat media space. You're terrible. You work at Panera. You love the working class so much? Go make French onion soup with them because you suck. You're bad. And now, so the Democrats are just fighting about whatever, who to pin this loss on. The Republicans now have no one to lash out at except themselves. So it's become a very contentious environment. Elon and Vivek have one set of things. Bannon and Vance, I believe, have like another. And Vance is kind of in the middle because he's kind of like, he's a venture capital guy, he's a VC guy, but he also is kind of this, you know, whatever you want to call it, America first, paleo-conservative, more nationalist side of the ticket, which wants closed borders and a lot of trade restrictions and tariffs. They want a reemergence of the American middle class. And you have Elon and Vivek, who are now in this first big rift, and it is playing out like this. The backlash escalated on Thursday when Vivek Ramaswamy, in a post on X, criticized an American culture that he said venerated mediocrity over excellence. Well, I agree with him there. Attributing this as one reason for the influx of foreign tech workers. So Vivek and Elon are saying that companies like Apple need to recruit and hire foreign workers. This flies in the face of everything that the paleo-conservative Bannonite wing of the Trump administration has said, which is that we should not be looking outside the borders of this country. We should be cultivating and developing talent here. Companies that cannot find American talent or unwilling to pay American talent, whatever the case may be, should suffer the consequences of it, okay? So Ramaswamy went on to say that he hopes Trump's presidency can start an American culture that prioritizes hard work over laziness. Tech executives have called for greater access to the widely used immigration visa, arguing that it is necessary to fill high-skilled tech and other specialized jobs. Elon Musk, who is the co-leader of the Department of Government Efficiency, posted on X yesterday, and a lot of people are not happy about this. This is the first big rift, and I don't mean a rift over like, should Matt Gaetz be able to have a sex party with the 17-year-old? I mean, this is like, or like, is Tulsi Gabbard, fit for the job? This is not a rift about a person, a confirmation, or something. This is a genuine ideological difference. So this is the tweet that Musk put out there. The number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low. That's Elon Musk. And he goes, he was born in South Africa. He's a naturalized citizen. Urged people to, quote, think of this like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be. That enables the whole team to win. Who's the team? That's the real question, right? Who's the team? Here's another question. And this is do tech people love America? It's a fair question. I'm not saying they don't. I'm asking the question. Are tech people really excited? When you've spoken to tech people, I'm asking, in your life, do they love America? Is that their thing? That they adore this country? Or do they really, really love tech? Meaning the things that can be achieved. A lot of them are talking about going to Mars, living forever, implanting, merging with AI so that AI doesn't defeat us. But are they in love with America? And so this is a real question. Are the tech people using Trump to get what they want, to get government contracts, to get money, do they think they can? And by the way, I don't think anyone's going to get one over on Trump. I think Trump has instincts that you can only have if you're a casino magnate raised in Queens, New York. Like, I believe he has instincts about people that are, they're not, even if they, and I'm not saying it is, but if elements of the tech community are thinking that they're going to get one over on Trump and use Trump, I don't think Trump will allow that to happen. He doesn't allow himself to be used in that manner. I think this is becoming the first big rift where people are starting to question if the love of Trump and his policies is genuine amongst people in tech, or are they trying to launder their ideas through the MAGA movement? Does Elon really care? Do these guys really care? Do they care about American workers? Do they care about the country of America more than they care about what they can use this administration potentially to do, to accomplish? Because people in tech want to do things. They have ideas. Those ideas need money. Those ideas need, the permission to happen. They need contracts. There is a question here about, like, I know tech people. I've met tech people, have dinner with tech people. Very smart, interesting. They don't talk a lot about America, to be honest. They just don't. They don't really talk about they reference America. It's referenced. It's part of something, but it's not their main thing. They want to terraform other planets. They want to merge with AI. They want to live forever. They want to upload their consciousness to it. They're not really, they don't go on and on and on about the forgotten middle class, except to say that they should all have UBI. We should give them all crypto, UBI, or whatever Sam Altman's trying to do over there, where he's giving you biometric crypto when you're born so you don't have to go to work, or whatever the case may be. These are all their ideas. I mean, Peter Thiel, who owns Anduril, this is where I get killed, but Peter Thiel, who cares at this point, right? Anduril, which is Palmer Luckey's company, Palmer Luckey's a right-wing guy. They're like making drones. And then the guy who, I forget the name of the CFO of or something of Anduril, who's on the Bilderberg conference, it was saying recently, and you could get this article, Bilderberg reinvents themselves for a new age. It's kind of interesting. They're modernizing. The Bilderberg group, which is, this group of leaders in government and academia, media, private enterprise, all get together and decide which way. Yeah, that's it, The Guardian. These people are basically deciding how the Western world should operate and function. And they're kind of, because they've been shrouded in secrecy and conspiracies abound about what they're doing, and some of them are probably very legitimate, they're now basically trying to maybe have more of a friendly attitude towards the press and demystify some of what they're doing. But what caught me in this article here is that if you keep going down, you have this company, Anduril, which is a company that makes, here we go. The tech luminary and Donald Trump insider Peter Thiel founded the fast-growing robotics company Anduril and the booming surveillance and AI giant Palantir. His loyal lieutenant, Alex Karp, the CEO of Palantir, was voted onto the board of Bilderberg a few years ago. Karp, who claims his company is, quote, responsible for most of the targeting in Ukraine, recently told the New York Times that the U.S. will very likely soon be fighting a three-front war with China, Russia, and Iran. That's nice. Is that, and he's a big Kamala Harris fundraiser, Alex Karp, who is the CEO of Palantir. My question is, if you're making lots of money with the Ukraine war and you believe that the United States is soon going to be in a three-front war with China and Russia and Iran, which is a terrifying prospect, would probably end all life on Earth. Let's not let that get in the way of the bottom line, but it would kill us all. Are these people, again, is that a guy, it's just a question, don't be mad at me, is that a guy who's really concerned about, like, the American worker? Or is this a guy who's made a lot of money in drone warfare, who thinks that probably it's an inevitability that we have a major world war? This is the fight that's going on with elements of the tech community, and now it's starting to become clear. And this might be the big fight within the Trump administration, is like, are these tech people starting to out themselves? Now, by the way, this episode gets demonetized. It's buried. Watch. I'm saying, but who knows? Or am I wrong? Am I wrong? And are there just not enough people in this country to do any of these engineering jobs? And then, then that kind of flies in the face of a lot of the stuff that Trump and these guys are talking about the need to have America be the primary concern. Why can't you let my dirtbag friends work as engineers? Why not? So what? They're losers. You made them losers. You poisoned us all with food. You've driven us all insane. Our families are all destroyed. We all grew up in broken homes. Many of us inhaled asbestos. Some of us ate lead paint chips. Some of us were members of youth gangs. Some of us were raped repeatedly by authority figures we were told to trust. Some of us ate chalupas a lot. Why can't you hire us, Vivek Ramalama? Why not? So what? We don't know how to work it. Train us. Are you saying my friend Ryan's untrainable? When he gets out of jail, you hire him. You hire him when he gets out of jail. Sorry, this is the country you now run. The country you now run is filled with people that you may find to be unemployable. I'm sorry about that. That's part of the reason you were elected. Many of those people are angry. But if you cannot turn my friend Ryan, in prison right now for meth, if you cannot, sales, not doing sales, but I think also did a little, but you gotta, gotta test. If when he gets out of jail, you cannot get him a job at Apple, then why have a country? Why have a country? You should be hiring all of these people that you supposedly care about to work in your precious tech companies. You should be hiring them. You should walk in a Waffle House and go, congrats, you all work at Google now. You all work at Google now. Put that cigarette out. Things are getting better. I'm sorry, it's just what has to happen. Vivek goes, our American culture has venerated mediocrity over excellence for way too long. Yo, of course. But now you own it. It's yours. Yes. So he goes, a culture that venerates Corey from Boy Meets World or Zach and Slater over Screech and Saved by the Bell or Stefan over Steve Urkel and Family Matters will not produce the best engineers. Man. So he's coming out and going, everyone should be a nerd. Everyone should be I'm telling you right now, they listen to this show, and I'm telling you right now, the tech people, I predicted this. More movies like Whiplash, fewer reruns of Friends, more math tutoring, fewer sleepovers, more weekend science competitions, fewer Saturday morning cartoons, more books, less TV, more creating, less chilling. How about more white people, less Indians? How about that? How about more white people, less Indians? Indians didn't come to this country. No offense. But if we're going to critique the country, how about more people that actually came to the country and fought in those wars? Was there a lot of Indians that fought in the Civil War? I'm confused. I just don't know. It sounds like a racist point, but it's actually not. It's been made by people like Tucker Carlson and Ann Coulter. And if they're racist, then I'm racist. No one's racist no more. But it's my point. I understand what he's saying. I wasn't a fan of Friends. I liked Frasier. I understand we need more math competitions and shit like that. But this is the type of shit that is going to eat that movement from the inside. He's basically going out there and saying, by the way, we need to import people because no one in this country is up to the task. So we need generations of people. What is the sleep? What a weird move. No sleepover, less sleepover. What about smart kids having a sleepover? This is going to be a big problemo, by the way, for them. It is, because these people don't give a shit about America. They just don't. No offense to these people. They just don't. I know them. They don't care. They don't care about the country. It means nothing to them. I know these little dead-eyed monster kids. And by the way, God bless them. But they are not excited about America. They're excited about, leaving Earth. What gets these people going is this idea that we can leave the planet. Forget America. Earth doesn't really interest them. Earth. So the reality is you have an Indian guy lecturing Americans saying that we can't hire any of you. We need to bring in more Chinese people. Is that not why people voted for Trump? So they didn't hear that? Couldn't they have heard that from Kamala Harris? Wasn't that the whole point? Wasn't the whole point of the Kamala Harris campaign was that Americans should just shut up and die in a shed? And now these guys are kind of aping that, Wasn't the whole point of her campaign that that could have been out of the Democratic playbook. Americans are stupid and they can't do anything. We got to bring in other people. Sorry. So this is a big issue. Big issue, okay, for them. And DJT, Donnie T, as my friend Chrissy D would say, Donnie T needs to rein this in here because, and I will be in Palm Beach next week, not to see him per se, but I'm not afraid of you tech faggots. My godson is Chinese. He's Chinese. He's Chinese. And we'll drone your shit. I'm just saying, I will be spending a lot of January in Florida. And here's the deal. I think Elon and Vivek have some very, 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 very good ideas about reducing the waste and garbage in government. And I don't know either one of them personally. I met Elon at a party once in Texas. I think Elon's got great ideas about free speech. I think he's incredibly important. I think he's taken a reputational hit for defending free speech. I think it's a patriotic and an American value and something that's very, very good. But whatever this messaging is, has to be changed. You can't go out there and tell people that in order for this country to succeed, we have to love Screech and Urkel. I mean, I'm not saying we shouldn't have more math and science and more stuff, but we can also think the hot guy's cool. The hot guy can also be cool, okay? No one fights wars to have more nerds. They fight wars because there's an American ideal here, and the American ideal is not the nerd. I'm not saying that nerds aren't great. We love nerds. Look at what nerds have done for America. Isn't everything so great? Isn't it so much better now that you can DoorDash or Taco Bell? But I'm saying that this love affair, who's this Ramaswamy character? God love him. His messaging is off in a big way, and he's got to change it. He's got to change it. because the reality of the situation is you're pissing in the faces of people in this country who've been here for generations. That's all. Sorry. And if you're going to say that's racist, well, then I guess people like Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon and I will not believe it. But it's true. I'm being true. And Cernovich here, he's right. The Woodstock generation managed to build that aerospace. The one before that went to the moon. America was doing great. Underlying your post is that we were all living in squalor until being rescued by H-1Bs. Then why did everyone want to come here? Cernovich I'm sorry he won with that tweet. Vivek, the version of America, the one that used to embody unbridled exceptionalism, is exactly what we want to return to. That's the point about culture, not immigration. And we want to we want to return to it by importing more Chinese. And they went at Ann. When Ann said she would not elect him because he was an Indian, they went at her. But maybe we listen to a Greenwich, Connecticut WASP bitch every now and then, huh? What's amazing about this whole show is how not racist it is. That's what's amazing about it. That's actually, they'll study it in the history books because they'll go in, you go to the Holocaust Museum, it won't be that important, but they'll come in and everyone will listen on the little things and they'll go listen to this podcast and all the little kids look, it sounds really racist. And they go, no, it's not. It's actually so not racist that we put it in this museum. But we have an Indian guy. Sorry, Indians. Indian guys here now telling Americans that they're pigs and that they can't do anything. That's my job, Vivek. That's my job. That's Whitey's job. Sorry. But no, here's the reality. The point about mediocrity isn't lost on me and shouldn't be lost on anyone. But here's the reality. If your argument is that you cannot get American people to rebuild this country, and that it can only be done from outside the borders of this country, you are suspect. I'm with you on a lot of what you said, not on the veneration of Urkel, you freak. But I'm with you on a lot of what you said. I opened my show, not even reading these articles, I opened my show about mediocrity. I've said it millions of times. Half of these people just ape what I say. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. What I'm saying is this. You're to hire my dirtbag friends now, and you're to fucking hire them, you stupid fuck. You hire my pig friends. Hire my pig friends now. You hire them now. You bring them in now, my crooked cop friends, my waddling piggies. They come in, and you yell for them and go, sir, like a pig call. And you come in and you feed them in troughs at Apple and Google. You feed them in troughs. You hired a zombie apocalypse. He's meth zombie. You created him. You own him. You hire him. Now you hire him. You do it. You figure it out. Figure it out now, the pigs. You should be afraid of the workforce. They should terrify you. The rashes they have. You should hire people with rashes because they live by chemical plants and they have burns on their body and they can't explain how it happened. You should hire people who claim that they've been probed by UFOs. If you can't make them into engineers, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. This is a big issue. These are big issues. These are the big ones, folks. These are the big ones. Sometimes we report on the small ones, Like everyone keeps sending me this, the pizza delivery chick stabbed someone. All right. I know she did. The point is this. She's delivering pizza. Who cares? The point is this. There is a fight now in this country. There is a great fight. Do we give this country to tech people? Do we just hand it over to them and see what they do with it? They're basically saying it's inevitable. You have to. You have to. We run everything anyway. We control it all. You have to give it to us. Okay. Is that true? Is that true? It's very interesting Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 1,000 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, Georgia, and Florida. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Join over 10 million members and sign up today. Prize Picks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. Prize Picks puts their members first. So all your withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Prize Picks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. Think James Cook will get more than 60 yards next season. Joe Burrow pass more than 1.5 touchdowns. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. Download the app today. Use code TIM and get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Download the app today and use code TIM to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Hims is what everyone is using right now. You need it because it's the hair. You want your hair back. The only thing worse than losing your hair is waiting forever for it to grow back. That's why you need Hims. You can start seeing your hair grow back in as little as 3 to 6 months. Clinically proven ingredients like finasteride and minoxidil that can grow your hair back in as little as 3 to 6 months. I know people who swear they start seeing it come back in 2.5. The process is simple. It's 100% online. So there are no uncomfortable doctor visits. If you don't have hair, get Hims. If you don't have hair, get Hims. If you're bald and you're sick of it, get Hims. They have hundreds of thousands of trusted subscribers that can help you get your confidence back too with visibly thicker and fuller hair. Start your free online visit today at hims.com/TIM. Great way to support the show and get your hair back. That's HIMS.com/Tim. For your personalized hair loss treatment products, hims.com/Tim. Hims.com/Tim. It rhymes. Hims.com/Tim. Hims.com/Tim. Happy New Year. Results vary based on studies of topical and oral minoxidil and finasteride. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. What are these drones? Why are they all over the place? Is it us? Is it Skunkworks? Is it America? Are some of them Chinese or whatever? I had lunch with a CIA agent the other day for 3 hours who used to be in the CIA. They're not in it. Okay? I had a poke bowl. And they think maybe some of these there's a big war for satellite supremacy where us and China are blowing satellites out of the sky. And she thought one of these Chinese satellites that got blown out of the sky was maybe a navigation system for these drones. However, these drones are still around. So maybe it's the United States. The gaslighting in the media is crazy. They keep going, you're not seeing it. It's not real. They keep saying the things you're seeing are just there. They've always been there. You're the problem. You're some New Jersey animal. You stand on your stoop full of booze and pills and calamari. You say galama when you're from that area. How drone fever spread across New Jersey and beyond. So what the New York Times does now is just their job, and it's always been, but now it's explicit, is just to tell you that what you've seen with your own eyes is actually mass hysteria. It's some type of overreaction. It's some type of mass psychosis. It's not real. What are they going to do? Are they going to nuke the inauguration? Because I might go. I think I'm invited. Are they nuking it? Are the deep CIA freaks going to try to nuke this inauguration? I'm not. I don't want it. Stop with it. What are they doing? What are these fucks doing? By the way, get the drones out of the sky. It's the holidays. They don't want them to win. How far will they go? We don't know. I don't know if the Trump team knows how nefarious elements of the people that really dislike him are. There's some real problems. And I had lunch with this person who is no longer in this thing, but there's the issues. What are they going to do in the inauguration? I might go to I think I'm going. Am I in danger by these people? I don't want to be. This is the only inauguration I would ever be invited to. So before you yell at me and go, oh, the political what? Hey, I would go to any of them and none of them will invite me. None of them. And now maybe I won't get invited because I've opened my big mouth. But listen. You got to hire my disgusting retarded friends, and you have to give them jobs at Apple and Google, and that's the price you pay. It's that theater kid energy. It's like you now have to do a great show. It's like a movie where you have to do a great show with really untalented kids, and you get to the high school and they all suck, and you just have to grit your teeth because they're all Americans, they're citizens. You have to grit your teeth, and even though they're going to get up and they're going to go, ah! And they sound bad, you got to go, all right, let's work at it. Let's work at it. You have to hire my disgusting moron friends who couldn't run a Dunkin' Donuts, who don't know anything. They are community college dropouts. They are slime. They're the worst of the worst. They're amoral. They have no morality. They're amoral, vicious monsters, bloodthirsty little piglets, one and all, drug-addled, schizophrenic, nightmare people. That's your workforce. It's your country. You better take them. You better take them, and you better turn them into Chinese people. That's the goal. You better take my disgusting friends and turn them into Chinese people. And if you don't do, it's true. If you do not turn my disgusting, fat community college dropout legion of skanks, I'll call them my legion of skanks, my friends, if you do not turn them into quiet Chinese people, what does Vivek think where every show is going to be about Chinese people? Less Friends. Why isn't everyone on Friends Chinese? Why isn't there white? Why isn't all American culture Chinese? Can you imagine Friends? It's all Chinese people. Is that fun? No one talks. It's quiet. What's going on with Rachel and Ross? Who knows? Who's Rachel? Who's even Ross? What's happening? The guy wants a Boy Meets World to be Chinese people, where you sit down and Corey does math equations, and Topanga walks in with her big tits. He goes, I don't really give a shit. I'm Chinese. It seems racist. No, it's not racist. It's actually not racist. You have to actually listen to it. This exhibit in the museum is an hour. It's an hour, and by the end of it, you realize how not racist it is. Do you get it? Benjamin Netanyahu, by the way, had a very good year, and they wrote about this. He had a very good year, even though he's been accused of a genocide, and people want to try him at The Hague for war crimes. He had a very good year, and I'll tell you right now, this is the power of believing in yourself. It really is. It's the power of believing in yourself. People can say anything they want about you, but the reality is, do you know you? People can say anything they want about, oh, you're a bitch. Oh, you're fucking, you know what I mean? Like, oh, you talk so much shit. Oh, you're doing a genocide and killing children by the minute. But no matter what they say about you, you know who you are. You know who you are. So it's about having the confidence to say it's not a genocide. It's just a little fire in the desert. I mean, this guy, they went at him for corruption. They go at him for bombing hospitals. All of these things. And you know what he says? He goes, you can talk your shit about me. I know why I bombed that hospital. So you can talk all the shit you want about me, Jessica. But, like, I don't give a shit because, like, you don't know what it's like to be me. You know what it's like? Israel's attorney general has ordered the police to open an investigation into the prime minister's wife on suspicion of harassing political opponents. I cannot believe it. And a witness in the Israel's leader's corruption trial. By the way, can I ask a little question here? And I'm not trying to be difficult. Is there anything left over there to kill? I'm curious. Who are they still hunting over there? There's like one cat that they haven't lit on fire. What is left? Isn't it all gone? Isn't it all gone? I mean, does this end? This is like that joke I did where I'm like, kill them all until they're dead, and then when dead, kill them again. I mean, it's just like, isn't everything, I mean, again, maybe I'm not the most educated person here. I would imagine that after a year plus of indiscriminate, large-scale killing, there's not a ton left, right? It looks, let's get some photos up. Get some photos up, buddy, of the Gaza for the new year. Yeah, make that bigger. This seems like the job's kind of done, no? Doesn't this seem, but they want to go into Iran. They want Trump to co-sign preemptive strikes on Iran's nuclear facility. This is what they want. And then all these freaks are going, and we're going to be fighting a three-front war, and here's how much money we'll make if we're going to war. And I'm telling you right now, we do not need to be in a three-front war with Russia, China, and Iran. I don't know. Who do we think we are, by the way? That all of these things are going to be like, cool. I support Taiwan, and let me tell you how far I'm willing to go. Okay? I'm telling you right now how far I'm willing to go for Taiwan. I don't care. I will. If China tries to reunify forcibly with Taiwan, okay, I will insult them on this show. And that's it. That's where it'll end. No blood, no treasure. But I will insult them. And it'll be cutting. It'll be mean. I'll say nasty things about them. I'll hurt their feelings. That's how far I'm willing to go. I'm willing to hurt China's feelings if they forcibly reunify with Taiwan. But that's it. I'm not getting in. We're not doing this. We're not going to fight a war with Taiwan. We need to make chips in America, Vivek, so that we don't need to fight a war. Because if we fight a war with China, it is the end of all life on Earth. I don't know who needs to hear this. What do you people think it's going to be? It's the end of all life on Earth. I'm telling you, we cannot do it. We cannot fight a war with China. We need to chill it the fuck out. We need to chill it out. I'm president. Here's what I do. You get Ukraine, Poots. You get Ukraine. Xi, you get Taiwan. And we're taking Greenland. We get Greenland. Because we're going after Greenland now. Sorry. I don't want any of it to happen. But we got to start making deals. And here's the deal. We cannot fight a war with China. And if they really want Taiwan, as much as I would feel bad for Taiwan, I don't know what to do. Does anyone out there know what to do? I don't know what to do. China probably likes Taiwan more than I do. They really like Taiwan. I don't even eat Taiwanese food that much. I don't know a ton of people from Taiwan. I know they make the chips for the thing. What I'm saying is this. I will be sad if China attacks them. I will say that's terrible. But you know what I mean? But how much more do we want from me? Or any of us? What do you want? Is that why Vivek doesn't want to hire my disgusting friends? He wants them to fight China in the South China Sea over Taiwan or something? I don't know. I'm just saying, what do people think we're going to do if they invade Taiwan? What are we going to do? We're going to fight in the South China Sea? We've not fought a war like that in a long time. We can't do it. It's not going to work. So all of these people that think that we have the capability of this shit, they want a blood holocaust here, and they've been trying to get one going. They've been trying to get one going for years. They just want everything to end. I don't know why they want this, but I imagine it has to do with getting rid of a lot of the population and taking a lot of the money and resources for themselves. That'd be a guess. But it's death. All death. if it's us versus China over Taiwan. Sorry. They'll sell us to chips. China will sell us to chips when they take over Taiwan. I'm doing foreign policy now. I'm doing it. China will sell us to chips as well. China will sell us to chips as well. And I don't want any instability in the world. But I'm telling you right now, we cannot fight a war with China. I would like them to not take over Taiwan, but no one cares what I think. Except the people that listen to this show. It doesn't really matter what I think. We are not in the position to fight China, Russia, and Taiwan. Russia's got like 4,400 nuclear warheads. I don't understand like the world people are living in, where they're like, there's no more, like, remember after 9/11 when that, like, Toby Keith had that song, my neck's been red, my collar's still blue. I've always been here. It's the red, white, and blue. There's no more of that. We're not going to be able to play that. They'll, you know, it's not going to work. It's copyright strikes and drone strikes. But my point is this. We need to calm down with those patriotic songs that make us think we're going to fight everybody. There should be a song where it's like, we wish everyone well. Your sphere of influence is yours. Do what you will and be a tourist here. If you want, come here for the holidays. Do what you want with Crimea. It's not my business. By the way, since we've gone to war, it's so funny now just seeing every white person is like a massive fan of country music somehow, because country music was the only place over the last 4 years of the woke craziness that welcomed whitey. So now everyone I know is like, whether they're from Greenwich, Connecticut, they're like LARPing is like a huge fan of country music, and it's disgusting. And I like country music, and I have a lot of respect for that culture. But there's something weird about like guys from Connecticut who spend the day golfing really into country music. It's just the emptiness of this particular culture that we've created. I'm not saying you can't appreciate country music, that if you're a white guy from the Northeast, the only music you can get into is country music. And there's nothing worse than seeing a guy who played tennis all day at a country western bar line dancing. It's a little disgusting. There's something odd about it. But it's what happens when one cultural space says, yeah, you can come here and chill and just be white and it's cool. And then all the other cultural spaces go, you're a demon from hell and we hate you. And that's why all of these fucking people that I know who have zero overlapping with the country, they're all like, hey, Lordy, and it's like, guys, what's going on here? What's happening? I like country. I love James McMurtry. I mean, I love a lot of these guys, but I mean, he's not. But these guys like these syrupy, like metrosexual country stars, like Bo Burnham had that great bit about it, you know? But it's just interesting. There's something weird about the white culture that isn't functional. And there's something about when white people start to get confused and start like pretending they're like ranchers. Like people do it in California. There is no cowboys in California. Okay? Take your ironic cowboy hat off in Malibu, which doesn't exist. Okay? And so you have this like dearth of like any meaningful stuff coming out. Because what really, I mean, it used to be like we had Nirvana, we had cool shit, but now you just don't see a ton of that, right? So like country music is a genuinely organically American genre of music with incredibly talented people. The other option seems to be either rap, which is great, or just this kind of pop, corporate, whatever. So I think if you want anything that has an instrument like a guitar or any type of, it's country music. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying it's very interesting watching that become the only cultural identity for people that I know from Jersey who leave an Italian restaurant and start blasting country music. There's something interesting about that. Many will study it. Many will write about it, and they will not credit me. They will not credit me, will they? It's hard to do an hour that is as not racist as what I just did. It's very difficult, actually. It's actually hard to do an hour like that that's not racist like that. But it's important that we have these fights and that we talk about these things, and it's interesting. Culture is interesting, and how things move is interesting. And my friends leaving the golf course and then jamming out to country music, that's something's going on. It's worth noting. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's worth noting. You got to notice things and go, interesting. Why do they feel some kinship? Why do they feel like the only soulful music they have is country? There's no doubt country music's amazing. I love a lot of it. Dude, George Strait and fucking Brooks and Dunn, all these people are amazing. Toby Keith, all these guys. Dolly Parton, Loretta Lynn, whatever. Who do I really like? Martina McBride. All these people are great. They're all great. It's not a knock at all on country music. It's just an interesting cultural moment that people are finding that's the only soulful thing left. It isn't just a real, like a viral marketing campaign. A lot of other music feels, of course, a lot of the people that I know are finding the least soulful country music, as they would. That doesn't, but it is interesting. It's worth noting but it's always kind of happened. You've always seen these people like Mohegan Sun in Connecticut in like a country western line dancing bar because they don't have any cult. Connecticut's like a dearth of cult. Connecticut's just about being really rich, or I don't know what it is, but they don't know what it is either. Lobster and butter on a roll. They don't know. So they're just like, hey, hi, because they have not, I find inauthenticity very offensive. Most people don't. Most people love it and they market it and it makes money. I find it kind of, because what inauthenticity often leads to is a problem. If people have no clue who they are, they have no idea. This is the thing when you rip culture away from everybody and go, no, we're going to replace it all with one corporate, bland monoculture that doesn't serve anyone's needs or make anyone feel connected to their environment or their history. We're just going to replace it and then you can all go insane at the pace of your choosing. That's why I find inauthenticity interesting. So when I just see these guys leaving golf courses and like the only thing they're just really driven to this country stuff, it's kind of interesting. And you're like, TimDillonComedy.com. We've added a Sunday late show in Irvine, Orange County, one of the worst places to do comedy in the world, Orange County. It's really retarded people. I'm kidding. They're good people. I love Orange County. I love the boats and stuff. The Irvine Improv, we've added a late show on Sunday. Go watch Torch the Year of the Rose, Torching the Year, and hear about stories from 11 months ago that you may or may not have remembered. But it is funny. And remember, as I leave, as I go, I would just let a general warning to all who seek to work with me. You're in the scope of my gun. If you work with me for any reason, you are in the scope of my gun. It will be the slightest thing. You'll go, that guy didn't even seem mad. It'll be the slightest offense. The slightest offense will set me off like you have no idea. I will triangulate a campaign of powerful forces that begin to rob you of the agency you feel like you have. You feel like you are in control. You are not. I will slowly and methodically take everything you care about away. Your children will be afraid to go to school because the other kids are attacking them because I have said your project has ruined the world. So just know that. And by the way, but here's the flip side of that. I'm kind of fun to have around.